Hey everybody, Radio here. Today I just want to talk a little bit about heat and the importance of it when it comes to indoor gardening. Let's get started. So oftentimes when we think of plants, we often think of things like fertilizer, we think of things as, light and the type of soil, and we think about all these things. But I think one thing that is greatly overlooked is the importance of heat and making sure your plants have the right temperature and receive the right amount of heat. So soil temperature is what will initially enable plants to grow. So the right amount, the right temperature, plants will germinate quickly. And then once the plants have germinated, the next main thing is air temperature. And that kind of sets the tempo or the pace of how fast plants will grow. And so if you have a cold temperature, then your plants will grow slowly. If you have the right temperature, they'll grow really fast. And then of course, if you have it too hot, they'll slow down and die as well. And so you got to make sure you set the right speed. And so that's why it's important to remember these things. So, inside your house, especially during the winter, your house kind of gets cold. There's areas that are usually warmer than others. So if you have your plants in those colder areas, your plants are going to grow much slowly and they might not really grow at all. They might just seem stagnant and do completely nothing. So that's kind of what's, initially happened with these plants here. And so to kind of solve that problem, I bought this little kind of this heat mat. It's meant for kind of lizards and stuff like that, but it's just a heat pad that I have it on this little glass panel, and it heats up. It throws off heat and helps add the heat that the plants need. And so kind of what I've done here to help increase the amount of heat the plants receive, I have this little heat mat that is in here that's putting off heat into this container. I have it kind of in this little bin here, on top to kind of help trap that heat inside. This kind of helps create a little microclimate that helps the plants to receive the heat they need. And so when I first wasn't using this, my plants, they were staying at a temperature about 66, so it wasn't getting very warm. So as soon as I added this little heat mat, the temperature has climbed up and to about 70 to 71 degrees, and because of that, this plant is growing much faster. Because I added the heat, as you can see, the plant has started to flower again. You can see over here that others have started to flower here too. This little fruit here. It's starting to ripen. For a long time, it just sat there and was white and wasn't even red and just looked like this and did, absolutely nothing. But because of the heat, it has started to ripen and it looks a little weird. It looks weird because the plant was doing nothing because it was receiving the heat it needed, but because of the heat, it has greatly grown. Yeah, that's kind of thing to just remember, that your plants need heat. Oftentimes people buy those growing herb stands where they have LED lights and they have all this stuff, and the plants are receiving probably the right amount of light, but oftentimes they're not receiving the right amount of heat, and because of that, the plants either don't grow, they just kind of sit there and do nothing, kind of like mine were, or they grow very slowly. And because they're growing so slowly, they're much more susceptible to diseases and producing bad fruit. And so, it's important that our plants receive the right amount of heat. So if you can, increase the heat in your house or try to find some way to increase the heat for your plants, kind of like I did with this heating mat. And my results so far have been, my plants have grown much faster. The fruit has actually started to ripen, and so don't forget to heat your plants. If you need heat, your plants need it too. Take care.